Genesis chapter 16. Hagar and Ishmael. Let's read. Now Sarai, Abraham's wife, has borne him no children, and she had an Egyptian maidservant whose name was Hagar. So Sarai said to Abraham, "See now, the Lord has restrained me from bearing children. Please go into my maids, perhaps I shall obtain children by her." And Abraham heeded the voice of Sarai. Then Sarai, Abraham's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, and gave her to her husband Abraham to be his wife. After Abraham has dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, so he went into Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she has conceived, her mistress became despised in her eyes. Then Sarai said to Abraham, "My wrong be upon you. I gave my maid into your embrace, and when she saw that she has conceived, I became despised in her eyes. The Lord judge between you and me." So Abraham said to Sarai, "Indeed, your maid is in your hands. Do to her as you please." And when Sarai dealt harshly with her, she fled from her presence. Now the angel of the Lord found her by a spring of water in the wilderness, by the spring on the way to Shur. And he said, "Hagar, Sarah's maid, where have you come from, and where are you going?" She said, "I am fleeing from the presence of my mistress Sarai." The angel of the Lord said to her, "Return to your mistress and submit yourself under her hand." Then the angel of the Lord said to her, "I will multiply your descendants exceedingly, so that they shall not be counted for multitude." And the angel of the Lord said to her, "Behold, you are with child, and you shall bear a son. You shall call his name Ishmael, because the Lord has heard your affliction." Elroy means the God that sees me. This is the same Hagar that called the Lord Elroy when he saw her at this same occasion. Elroy, the God that sees us. Ishmael means God heard. So God sees us and God hears us. When Hagar finds herself in the wilderness of life, she cried. She cried in the midst of her affliction. She cried of hunger. She cried of thirst. She cried because she was in distress. Hagar cried because she was in need of help. And God sees her tears. God hears her cry. Elroy, Ishmael. God sees and God hears. In fact, the reason why God came to Hagar was not Hagar herself, but the seed that was inside of her. Because Hagar is an Egyptian, she was not part of the covenant of God. But Abraham's seed that was inside of Hagar, the seed is part of God's covenant. God has respect for the covenant that he has with Abraham. God reached out to Hagar because of the seeds she was carrying in her. When God looks at you, he does not see your limitation. When God looks at you, he does not see your failures, your mistakes, your shortcomings. But he sees the light in you. He sees the talent in you. He sees the seeds he has put in you, that he has deposited in you. The world may not see anything in you. You yourself may not even notice anything in you. But the Lord sees the seed he has deposited in you. The Lord knows you. You have a talent. You have a seed of God in you. The gift of God in you, that seed that God has put in you, God himself will water it, and it will germinate and grow and be visible to the whole world.